Hey, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where today we got some big news and some cool things coming our way with the Nightsisters. A few days ago, they announced the Nightsister reworks to us, and today we got some footage of how the Nightsisters are against many meta teams and the AAT raid. Plus, we're going to be talking about two brand new Nightsisters coming to the game, one of them being the Nightsister Spirit and the other one being the Nightsister Zombie. To summarize everything real quick, with the Nightsister reworks and these two brand new characters and Mother Talzin, the Nightsisters are a very formidable faction. They can take on meta teams, and they're going to probably be one of the top teams for the AAT raid, and we're going to talk more about that first. But what I want to do right now is first talk about the two brand new characters we did not know until this very day, and let's start off with the Nightsister Spirit. Now, I gotta say, first of all, the artwork for these characters are pretty darn cool. I actually was very impressed with the artwork for the Nightsister Spirit, and her kit is going to be essential for the Nightsister faction in order to take on many meta teams and be successful in the raids. And let's first take a look at her basic attack, known as Spectral Embrace. It deals physical damage to a target enemy, inflicts speed down for 2 turns, and gets to remove 20% turn meter, and then in return, she gains that amount of turn meter that she just removed from the enemy. The Nightsister Spirit, as you will find out, is probably the second highest dealing Nightsister out of this whole entire faction, and the basic does some pretty good work. It's going to be Rancor raid viable, so I can see the Nightsisters owning the Rancor raid. And in case you didn't know, Asajj's leadership also gives Nightsisters the ability to remove 20% turn meter. So probably between Asajj Ventress's leadership and this basic off Nightsister Spirit, she could remove 40% turn meter potentially, and in return gain that much turn meter on her basic. And with this kit, there's only one other damage dealing attack, and that's with her only special, known as Possess. It's got a cool animation. You're going straight to the heart of the enemy. It deals physical damage to the target enemy, dispels all buffs on them, and inflicts stun for 1 turn. So a lot of control, and you're able to clear away those buffs. So for example, if General Kenobi's taunting and he's about to take a turn, you can stun him, remove his buffs, and prevent him from being able to do a cleanse or call in a mass attack. So a great ability right there. And the good thing I have to say about this kit, it is simple. It stands for the whole KISS analogy, keep it simple, stupid, and because of this, the AI is going to be able to use this very effectively, I believe. Because usually the more complicated the kit is, the harder the AI has trying to use that character and using it effectively. So this character really represents kind of like how we had Sith Assassin for the Sith rework, and we had TIE Fighter Pilot. Simple kits, but very effective nonetheless. And before we get too carried away here, we got one more unique here, and that is Malevolent Spirit. Nightsister Spirit gains Foresight for 1 turn at the start of each encounter, and at the end of her turn, Nightsister gains Foresight for 1 turn, and then the Foresight's important because when Nightsister has this Foresight, she gets plus 100% offense, and her attacks ignore armor. Her kit is essentially TIE Fighter Pilot 2.0. She has a lot more Foresight than TIE Fighter got, a lot more damage, and she can evade a lot more often because of all the Foresight she's getting, and she gets bonus damage when she has Foresight. Plus, on top of this, the survivability is just a lot better because of the fact if Nightsister Spirit gets knocked down, most likely she can be revived due to all the revive abilities from the Nightsister faction, so she probably won't be out of the battle even though you defeat her on the Nightsister team. Overall, I think it's very apparent that she will be critical for the Nightsister's success in many events, but more importantly, she's going to be needed for Arena. And before we start talking about all the other Nightsisters here and how they work together, let's look at the second new Nightsister we are getting, and that is the Nightsister Zombie. Kind of similar to Nightsister Spirit, where it's a very simple kit, but guys, holy cow, very effective and kind of a new brand of a tank that we have not seen just yet. First of all, her basic is called Blight Touch. Very simple, but it gets the job done. It deals physical damage to the target enemy and inflicts Tenacity Down for 2 turns. Tenacity Down already screams Rancor raid viability paired with the Nightsister Spirit, Asajj Ventress leadership. It's a no-brainer. Nightsisters are for sure going to be a solid team for the Rancor. Quick fun fact, if the team has Tenacity up, whether from Chirrut or perhaps Captain Rex, Tenacity Down is critical because it's your workaround from the enemy having Tenacity up, so it allows your fellow Nightsisters to apply debuffs and ignore that Tenacity up that the enemy has. So Tenacity Down on a basic is very powerful. And the only other attack we have is her only special, known as Feed. It deals physical damage to the target enemy, and if the Nightsister Zombie has full health, you get to dispel all debuffs on her Otherwise, this attack has a plus 100% health steal. That is a huge boost of health steal right there. And to put things into perspective just a little bit more, she has a single unique known as Endless Horde at the end of her turn, and at the start of each encounter, Nightsister Zombie gains taunt for 1 turn. Whenever Nightsister Zombie is defeated while any other Nightsister allies are active, she is revived with 100% health and 25% turn meter, and guys, that revive cannot be prevented, aka Annihilate and Execute from Nihilus and Boba Fett will not prevent this character from reviving again. So she is probably going to be one of the best pre-taunting tanks in the game. Obviously, Han Solo can ignore this taunt at the very beginning, but the fact that she can taunt at the beginning and taunt a lot frequently makes her the perfect tank for this team, and she's exactly what the Nightsister faction was needed. Someone that's going to frequently take the damage in battle, has the ability to cleanse themselves in the situation they have shock or buff immunity on them. Nightsister Zombie in a Nightsister faction is going to be an absolute pain. She's kind of like Baze Malbus, but a lot worse. Usually, when you take out Baze Malbus on the enemy team, you can take a nice breath, and then you're like, oh good, he's done. But the problem is with Nightsister Zombie, you defeat her, even with Annihilate, she's coming back with 100% health and 25% turn meter, and she's not going away until you defeat all the other Nightsister allies. And with the fact she's taunting quite a lot, it's going to make it difficult to try to take out all those other Nightsisters. Outside of the Nightsister faction, she's not going to be that crazy, but she is able to taunt at least. But if she's in a non-Nightsister team, you can easily knock her out and she won't come back. The revive capabilities is only if other Nightsisters are with her. If you can't control her, she's going to be a major pain when going up against a Nightsister team. So pretty much what you need to do is either fracture her with Grand Admiral Thrawn so she's not able to taunt, then start picking out her Nightsisters one by one so she can't taunt and get in your way, or try to control her with a lot of turn meter removal, a lot of speed down, preventing her from taking a turn, because once she takes a turn, she taunts and then you got to deal with that taunt. So preventing her from getting that taunt out at the end of her turn is critical in order to make sure the Nightsister faction is something you can control. One of the most popular questions I get is there any way to make a team without General Kenobi? And this is kind of the first faction that could compete in the top end of the meta that does not need General Kenobi. And I am actually thinking not putting General Kenobi in this team, but Nightsister Zombie, because General Kenobi, yes, he's a great tank for this team, but Nightsister Zombie does something that General Kenobi cannot, and that is constantly reviving herself and gaining 100% health. So this might be a team that is meta and does not need General Kenobi, which might be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. So pretty much looking at these two brand new characters, they're simple but very effective and crucial for the Nightsister faction. And what I want to do with the last few minutes here is talk about my thoughts on the Nightsister reworks real quick after looking at this footage. The footage is meta teams they're going up against here, and man, they did a pretty good job. The only time they were struggling, it seems, was against the New Hope teams, which are the most difficult teams to fight right now. And although they struggled at first, they were able to pull off the victory. So looking at this, if you're able to defeat a New Hope team with Commander Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, all those other powerful characters, they're going to be a pretty viable team, it seems like. Originally, it was really hard to imagine how the Nightsisters are going to compare to the rest of the meta right now. And man, after seeing the footage of Mother Talzin in action, it really became evident how powerful Plague is going to be. And with the addition of the two new Nightsisters, they're going to be a great team, probably the best Darkside faction in the game. So far, it looks like if you're someone who's ready to go with Nightsisters, it looks like Mother Talzin, Old Daka, Asajj Ventress, and the two new Nightsisters are going to be your arena-based team. And speaking of Ventress, just a quick few points on her. A lot of people are curious about her. She's a free-to-play character that a lot of people do have geared up because they think she's a cool character. She's, wow, they really upped up her damage. A lot of the AAT footage, she was doing over 60,000 damage, over 80,000 damage in the AAT rate. So she is no joke when it comes to pumping out damage. Now, I don't want to get too derailed from our main topic here. Today was all about the Nightsister Zombie and the Nightsister Spirit, and a little bit of a sprinkle with the Nightsisters as a whole in Arena. If you want more information, and if you want to see me test out these Nightsisters, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because either tomorrow on Thursday or Friday at the very latest, I will be taking Mother Talzin, the two new Nightsisters, and the Nightsister reworks into Arena, and we will test out how good this faction actually is in my own hands against the best teams in the game right now. Although I'm very impressed right now, I have to test it on my own to see how they really are, but right now, very impressed. And the only downside I see to all this is that the Nightsisters got this good. Out of all the dark side factions in this game, it would have been great to see the Empire get something this amazing. It would have been great to see the Separatists, the Droids, the Bounty Hunters get something this good. Fact is, not many people have the Nightsisters ready, and they are going to be a very solid faction. And hopefully, maybe going forward, we get some more dark side reworks that are at this level, because this is a nice change of pace from the past few months where everything's just been overpowered light side stuff. But until the next video where we get to test out the Nightsisters, comment down below, what do you think of Mother Talzin, the 2 brand new Nightsisters, the Nightsister reworks? What are your initial impressions? Also, like this video if you did enjoy it, and as I said, be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, guys. And as always,
I'll be back.